was like, no, you have to do it for me. I was like, okay, whatever. Who's the guy? Then she was like, you know that guy from LSD, Rajkummar the second.
And you got creeped out.
I got scared. When the CityLights reviews and everything came out, like, I made it. That's it, you know. Because you become semi-famous. You're there and you're absolutely not there. I think he's a really good actor who just loves his craft. And I started fighting with my sister. And I was like, that's it. I'm leaving the house. I packed that suitcase back and I walked out. No, it still bothers me. Raj's wife. I feel like perhaps my work has to speak louder. I did a Love Games also now, but I got a Phule also, so how can I regret anything? Did the industry give me opportunities? Yes, it. Bombay is a place that seduces you. Once you are here, you cannot be anywhere in the world.
Hi, welcome to the OTT Showcase. I'm in conversation with an actor who combines style, sense and substance. I'm also in conversation with an actor who's as sensitive as they come. Her recent performance in the series IC814 was much touted and much lauded. I'm in conversation with Patralekhaa. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation.
Thank you. It's really my pleasure to be here. It took me only 10 years to get here, to be sitting and having a conversation with you, but yeah.
As always, I start with my favorite question. What would you tell your younger self when you look back today?
I would tell her that chill, calm down, have a little fun, you'll be taken care of. Because you know, Jitesh, when I had come to Mumbai, I was about 17, 18, and I hadn't come to Mumbai with the dreams of becoming an actress. I don't know why my parents had a house here. We are from Shillong. And I don't know why they thought, okay, Mumbai can be a good investment. Anyway, fortunately or unfortunately, they were like, go to Mumbai because you have a house there. I was thinking I'll stay back in Bangalore because I was in a boarding there. So I came here, I went to college at HR, then I did my management from NM. In between that, I found a friend who was a casting director. And then I was like, ye kya hota hai? And then he's like, you know, you give auditions, get photos, and that's how actually it started. My first earning was 5,000 rupees.
And so, is CityLights your debut film?
Yeah, actually. But while I was auditioning for CityLights, I did this Bangla film. Because I'm a Bengali.
I remember that actually some other actor and some other director was supposed to do CityLights, right?
Yeah. And so the director, unfortunately, I don't know why he left. So then the actress said that I am not going to be a part of it. And then actually, I had auditioned for that director as well. So I was in the top 3-4 girls. So when Hansal sir came on board, he was like, who are the girls again? So then I was like, man, this is my opportunity. I cannot lose this. So I was in Kolkata shooting for my Bangla film. I went to Goria Hat Bazaar. You know, I collected like some jewelry pieces, which I thought like a Rajasthani woman would dress up. Like I bought a ghagra and I came back to Mumbai. I gave the audition. While I was giving the audition, I knew I got it. Because as an actor, you always know when you're giving a good performance or it's just like...
और वो बांग्ला पिक्चर का क्या हुआ?
वो बहुत छोटी सी फिल्म थी, आर्ट फिल्म थी. वो आके चली गई.
But then after that, because Bengali is your mother tongue, you never did any other Bengali film?
No. I didn't look at that market either. But I came really close to working with Anjan Dutt. Yeah, but that somehow didn't work out.
You met Raj on CityLights, or were you all already dating by then?
No, I had met him actually after his film released, LSD. And he was going to FTI to do this video, a student video. And my friend was from FTI. And she was like, come. I was like, I'm not coming. You're not paying me. Because I used to do ads back then. And I would get paid for it. And then she was like, no, you have to do it for me. I was like, okay, whatever. Who's the guy? Then she was like, you know that guy from LSD, Rajkummar the second.
And you got creeped out.
I got scared. Because Jitesh, I was like, I had no idea about acting and all. Right? मैं तो ad करती थी पैसे, उतना ही था मेरा vision. I was like, this guy is a creep. I can't go with him till Pune. What if something happens? Then I called up my mom. My mom is like, tell your sister to come and nothing will happen. Just go, you know, it's Rukshana also. So then एक टूटा हुआ इंडिका आया हमारे घर के नीचे, and I still remember sweet Raj, he was sitting inside it. Then I told my sister, Mudhe wash. Okay, I don't want to sit next to her. And then we started off with the journey. And my sister and Raj got along like a house of fire, and they're chatting. I'm pinching her. Why are you talking to this creepy guy?
You called him creepy because of his character in LSD.
Yeah, because I had no idea who he was. And then after an hour or so, he's like, "So what do you do?" I'm like, I did this ad. And I was a bit snooty also. He's like, "You did this ad?" And suddenly there was an energy shift in him. He's like, "You are the..." I said, "Bhai, kya ho gaya isko?" And then we started talking. And then actually, by the time we reached FTII, I was so mesmerized with the whole culture, the love for art. And then Raj started showing me around, and then I saw how much he loves this world of
Because
acting.
he is a student of FTII, right?
And how much he loves the craft. And Jitesh, before that, I had never met an actor who was so obsessed by the craft, who was living, breathing, eating acting. So I was like, this is so nice. Actually, it started with respect towards him for his craft.
You all started dating at FTII. Those 3
No,
days.
we were there for 3 days. No, we didn't start dating like in 3 days only. We became friends. Then I was like, listen, I want you to help me because maybe I want to pursue this and I don't know head or tail of it. So he was like, he gave me lots of books, you know. Then he was like, then we used to do some sessions with his friends, acting work which they would come together and do. And they would call me also. And actually, that's when it started.
Do you recall some of your auditions that you did at that point and, some which you flunked? Like, was there a film that you got rejected for, which you can talk about now?
Back in the days when I was just starting off, Raj used to help me a lot. Actually, not back then also, even like 3 years back. You know, when we were in the pandemic and people wanted auditions, he was the one who was giving me cues. So he's always been super, super helpful. And he's just a great co-actor to have, right? Yeah. He elevates your performance and the whole
He's so
scene.
good in CityLights, bapre.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So, but what were your auditions that you gave? How are they like? Did you lose out to some Nepo kid, or what were the kind of auditions that you did?
No, you know, I never had this thing of a Nepo kid or anything, because I think the kind of work that I was doing or I was getting was really different. I never came into that bracket only. You know, I was doing films like CityLights, and then after CityLights, actually, it was quite difficult phase for me.
It's always a second film which is more difficult.
Which defines you. When the CityLights reviews and everything came out, like, I made it. That's it, you know. But actually, no. On the contrary, it was very difficult because I didn't get an offer for 6 months. 6-7 months, there was nothing. And then I still remember a very senior journalist messaged me. He messaged me like, don't let the lights dim. And I don't know, that kind of affected me a lot. And I didn't know people. But that's not an answer to anything, you know. The best person that I could go to was Bhatt Saab. I went to Bhatt Saab. I was like, I want a movie. They had like that movie.
You signed a 3-film contract with him?
I did. 3-film contract. But it's not like they told me, oh, you have to do this, or otherwise you have nothing.
But I remember you were playing the seductress. You got trolled a lot for that.
A lot.
How was that experience?
I got a lot of hate. But I think it was my fault.
Hate stories, it was
No,
called.
it was called Love Games.
Love Games.
Not hate story.
Love Games.
It was really my fault. I shouldn't have gone to him. I asked him. He didn't give me the movie. Vikram Bhatt didn't give me the movie. Neither they forced me. But Jitesh, I didn't know better. I thought that I'm an actor and I can do everything. I didn't know that actually you're an actor, but you should do only that much what is in your capacity. It was not in my capacity to do that.
Play a seductress.
A seductress and...
You know, the sexiness.
The sexiness. Yeah. Because also it didn't come naturally to me. Had it come naturally to me, I think it would have reflected on screen.
So were you uncomfortable?
I was very uncomfortable. And also I was like, why did I do nobody forced me. They all were very helpful and they were like really helping me through it. But I couldn't, And after that, the film came, and then again, there was a lull for so many years, years. And there were years where I was working for 2 days in a year, earning like only that much money. So it got more difficult because before I got my first film, I would go out every day. And I am a very happy being. I would go out, I would audition, meet people, make that many friends. And when you're auditioning for ads, kya hota hai na? You're just walking in. They'll say, no, you're not correct, you are unfit, or you're just like your complexion. And you're not fair basically. But you don't take it to your heart. You're like, okay, chal, let's go to the next. What happened then? Because you become semi-famous. That's a very tricky place to be at. You're there and you're absolutely not there. So everything dried out. Everything fizzled out because I didn't know who do I approach, what do I do, how do I actually maneuver through my day. But then my parents, I feel like they supported me so much. I had a house, I had a car, like I was not earning anything, yeah.
So you were privileged.
I am privileged, and it's only because of my parents.
But were you also living in with Rajkummar
No,
at that point?
not until that point.
Okay.
Because like I said, I have my house. My sister also used to live with me. Yeah.
When did you all start living together and decide ki we want to? Were your parents aghast that you?
So I come from a matriarchal background,
great,
and my parents are from Shillong, and they're like cool kids themselves. So they were not aboard by the whole idea, but it was really funny. So I went for this shoot called Nanu Ki Janu, and I came back home to Oshibara. I opened my suitcase and I started fighting with my sister. And I was like, that's it. I'm leaving the house. I packed that suitcase back and I walked out. And I was like, I'm not coming back anymore.
Why did you fight with your sister?
Just stupid. And then I went and stayed with Raj for a day. Then I was like, okay, I'm coming back day after. Okay, I'm coming back after a week. My sister was so heartbroken. She was like, you abandoned me. How could you do that? So it was that trivial. Like,
it was very organic.
Organic. I just felt like I and Raj were in such a good place that I didn't have to ask him that should I come and stay with you? Are you okay? No, I just picked up my suitcase.
How sweet. So you all lived in together almost 10 years, no?
No. About 6 years.
6 years.
And through the pandemic, we were together. Yeah, I clicked some photos for Filmfare cover, by the way. I'm a photographer too.
How wonderful.
We had a really good time during the pandemic because we were not sure about getting married, or it was not in our scope of things, to put it rightly so. So during the pandemic, I think we spent so much time together with each other. We were like, okay, this is just an extension.
But your parents were okay with your living together. Like you said, you come from a matriarch. Yeah.
That year only, I went and told my parents, I went back to Shillong with Raj, and I was like, I want to get married. And my dad was like, thank God, I'm so happy you're getting married. Let's start. And I was like, no, wait, we'll figure it out. And then 3 months he passed away. And that was quite difficult.
Even Raj lost both his parents, around that time.
Yeah.
That was also tough on him. Yeah. But at the same time, it coincided with him doing so well. I remember during the pandemic, he had Ludo and he had lots of films. Yeah. So how did your relationship change with his success? And did you like you were always probably being called as, hey, Raj's girlfriend, or so how did it bother you at that point?
No, it still bothers me. Yeah. Raj's wife, you'll see the caption. But I feel like perhaps my work has to speak louder. Maybe I have to push things. Also because I've been raised in a very, how do I say it? Like my parents never, it was not the case where, my parents told me, oh, by the time you're 20, 21, you have to get married and you have to find the right guy. It was always about having an individual output towards life, always having, how Bengali families are, work is something that comes first and then perhaps everything falls. So Oh, I feel like I'm just pushing that, ceiling probably, just to
So
not be only his
why is
wife.
it so difficult to move from the only wife tag? Are film directors wary of working with an actor's wife, or do you feel they have not seen enough of your work?
I don't know why they are wary. It's not like when I meet most of them, they all are so nice. I just feel like perhaps I have to prove myself a little more. And only that's work. I do good work, work comes. It's only about that. It's not
Because
about,
you're a fine
yeah,
actor,
it's not only about Raj and my relationship. I feel like they are unable to put me or see me perhaps in what they are developing.
it's not like stereotype in their head. अरे actor's wife बहुत problem actor भी interfere करेगा. It's not anything like
No,
that.
I don't think so because that
Because Raj
precedent,
is so
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
He's very
I think
easy.
that precedent had been set already because Raj never shows up on my set. He's never like, he's like, you do you, I'll do mine.
So, what are your favorite performances of Raj, and how do you all like? Does he show you how he does his scenes? Like, what was
No, he
what is?
doesn't show me how he does his scenes, but he's always very excited when he knows he's done well. He comes home or he'll tell me on the phone
Like,
that,
tell me an instance.
oh, like that Badhai though scene where he has that meltdown with his mother. He was
Oh my
so
God!
overwhelmed.
In that
Yeah,
terrace. Oh my
terrorist.
God!
And he's like, I don't know what happened to me. Something just happened, and it was a one take shot. And he was like, I was just there, and he just felt that the whole thing just summed up there. And I feel like he was there. He was present as Shardul. So that,
No, and also what the film did for the LGBTQ. My goodness, it is absolutely very brave of a straight actor to do it. It's
but
fantastic.
you know what's that one shot that I love in that movie is when he wears the mask and he does this. I'm like, how could he even think that? He's like, I don't know. It's,
So I can see you're a big
yeah.
Rajkumar
I
fan
am.
club. I
I am.
think.
I think he's a really good actor who just loves his craft. It's respect, I think.
So tell me about you. What is your process? Like this recent series, you were working with stalwarts. Like, I mean, of course, you didn't have individual scenes, but there was Pankaj ji and there was Nasir, and then of course you had a lot of scenes with Vijay Varma, who himself is Raj's classmate at FTI. So what was the like? What does it mean to the Kandahar hijack? What does it mean? Get into the psyche of a air hostess who could die any moment, and yet she has a father ailing, and that scene which you're negotiating with the even the servant says I have to go, and you're like, my flight is delayed, stay back. So tell me a little about that process.
So my process is a bit different. Obviously, I'll do the reading. I'll sit with the actor and the director and whatever the mandate is. I go through it, but the first 2 3 days, I'm completely lost. I don't know what's happening. It's a very overwhelming feeling. But just I feel like when you are on a set and you're doing the same thing in and out, like the scenes, different scenes from the script, and you are in a completely different look. Something happens at some point, and you just feel, oh, maybe that's her, you know? So I feel my process starts once I'm on the set. I can prepare as much, learn lines, but there are moments that capture who that person is, and you know it. So, like with IC814, again, I'll tell you, even we were inside that plane, the set with which they made. We were some 300-400 of us with the crew.
How many days?
About 10-15 days inside. And it was claustrophobic because there were that many even junior artists. It was chaotic, and after a point, people had COVID. It was the third wave. while we were shooting, and everybody was sick and unwell, and the space was just getting smaller. So I think everything started taking a toll.
But there was
The
only among the
environment,
stars, there was only Vijay and you,
only
right?
Vijay. And Vijay and I go long back, about he had done this film called Monsoon Wedding, and I had auditioned with him.
Vijay Varma?
Vijay Varma. So I
Oh.
know him since then.
Okay,
So
okay.
we have a very good friendship also.
Just the thought of you could lose an ailing parent, you could lose your own life, shooting there. Like how did it change you as a, and also you worked with Anubhav, who's also worked with Raj and you. What were the director's instructions to
So
you?
Anubhav sir is very committed, I feel like, to his work. And when he's on his set, I think he's a different beast altogether. He shuts down completely, and I feel like it's him and the scene or the shot he's taking. He shuts down completely, and there must be some chakna vakna in front of him. That's all. He doesn't care. So while we were shooting the aircraft, we were in Jordan, and I still remember he was going up in the belly of the plane after every cut. He was going and talking to the terrorists and Vijay. So I was like, that's a lot. He did that. He came up and down some 20-25 times. He could have just spoken on the mic also or the walkie-talkie. But that's how he's committed. And I think he goes crazy. He's like, oh my God, I have to do it. I have to do it. So just seeing his commitment was amazing. And I just feel like he knows how to tap into the potential of that particular actor for that particular role.
You've done so many films. You've done, see, like you did. You want to talk about Gulkanda? Even I believe now it's not taking off because of some reasons. So how you want to talk about that experience working with Raj and DK? Tell me about it.
So Raj and DK are the producers. Rahi is the maker of he's the director.
Who made Tumbad?
Who made Tumbad. And the world he's created, I've never seen anything like that on TV of Indian television or even movies, Bollywood.
So why don't they want to release it? Is there
I don't
something?
know. They are stuck at some point. I don't know what it is, and perhaps it won't see the light of the day. But it's really sad because we were committed to it, and it was one of the most difficult shoots. It was the first wave. Everything had the first lockdown happened. Then we started shooting. And Rahi is also crazy, the sets he builds, and he just wanted Loban, and he wanted like no lights to be there, but it should be only the firelight that should be coming because he was trying to be true to that time and age and that period. So I really pray to God because just everyone who is a part of this show, even the light boy. The light boy also comes up to me randomly in some other shoot and says, "अरे मैडम वो shoot का क्या हुआ? अगर वो show आता तो कितना अच्छा होता." So everybody could see that there's a sparkle in it.
Tell me, how has your relationship with Raj changed as a girlfriend, boyfriend, and as a spouse? What are the changes that you've seen?
Honestly, really nothing. Now only the terms have changed, husband and wife. Also, I find it sometimes difficult to call him my husband. I'm like, oh, he's my husband.
But
and not my
I find
boyfriend.
Raj quite a feminist. I remember him putting a sindoor on him at your marriage and all.
Honestly, we didn't even discuss it. And obviously, when you're getting married, you don't realize the camera is there and you don't care really because you are like into it, right? So when he told me, Sindoor lagao, I'm like, kya? He's like, haan, lagao. I'm like, okay. But we didn't actually realize that it's going to become like
Itni badi baat.
Itni badi baat. Because Raj keeps doing these things.
All these grand gestures.
No, these gestures which maybe as his spouse or his wife or girlfriend, I don't see it कि इतनी बड़ी बात है क्योंकि it's consistent ना.
So he's not putting up a show. I mean, it's a sensitive topic, but both of you lost your parents, as in he lost his parents, and then you. So what was the kind of did your father see him do very well, and saw your career also doing well? What are the kind of conversations you all had with this thing?
So my father always thought that Raj is a really good boy.
For you?
Yeah, for me. And he quietly used to read all of Raj's reviews. So he was like, हाँ ये तो अच्छा ही लड़का है. And with me, he said, he always used to say, Ki, don't stop. When you feel like you're tired, actually, that's when your time starts, and that's when you have to put in more hard work. So, whatever you're doing, just do it, but be at it.
And your mom?
My mom saw, she's happy. She's really happy. She's so happy seeing Raj's success. She's just happy seeing all his movies. She goes with her friends. So, yeah, she is.
Tell me, how was it growing up in Shillong? Tell me something about your childhood. How was it? Like, are there any sort of memories that, you hold very close? I think you were there till you were 11 or 12, right?
11.
11.
I remember playing a lot with my cousins. I used to come back from school, play with them, and every Saturday, Sunday used to be this big thing. Sunday, Ramayan used to come. So mom used to make luchi and aloo, and we would sit and we would eat and watch Ramayan. I also remember when Kuch Hota Hai had released. I was in a boarding school, and in boarding school back then you weren't allowed to watch the movie. So you would get some TV time for like 15-20 minutes. So we would put on MTV or Channel V and we would see Shah Rukh Khan dancing, and we were like, oh my god, this is the moment, and Kajol had that whole short bob. It was moments like this. And then I remember the first thing I came back home and I was like, Mom, I have to watch Kuch Hota Hai. Do whatever it takes. Get me the whatever CD or the thing.
What was the moment when you said, ki, okay, अच्छा मैं अभी actress बनने वाली हूँ? Is there any sort of catalyst or something?
No. I feel like there was a process. There was a very weird process to it. Like I told you, I went for auditions. मैं पैसे कमा रही थी, मैं खुश थी. Then I used to get movie calls because some of my ads became really famous and I couldn't act. Like zero. Atul Mongia called me, Mukesh Chhabra called me, and when I used to stand in front of the camera, I could feel my legs shivering. Then I met Raj, and I was so, smitten by his love for his craft that I was like, okay, I want to learn this too and how it's done. So I feel like one thing.
So you never really learned acting
No,
like he
not
did?
really. Not
Okay.
like how he did.
Okay. Were there actors and actresses who really inspired you, performances that
Yeah,
you
there
saw?
was one performance which I can't forget was Sadma. I watched it when I was very young and I don't know, I didn't even understand like acting. But I don't know, till date, it's one of my most favorite movies. I can watch it at any time, at any point. It does something to me. It was just magic, the way they both acted in it, and just the culmination of the whole story.
What did it do to your mental health? The pandemic happened, and like you said, the waiting. There have been years when you've done only worked for 2 days. Does it? How did you, for what was? How did you deal with? I mean, did you go for therapy, or did you need any kind of support? What
So
was?
I feel like, of course, there were days where I used to be really sad, like very sad. But after 2 days, I would be like, okay, forget this. It doesn't matter. I would pull myself out of bed and do random stuff. But also, I can say these random stuff, I had the support of my parents. That was the most important thing, Jits. So my parents have been a very, very important part of me not going insane, literally. Yeah.
But you never felt.
But I can't even say that I was depressed. I mean, I used to be sad, but I would be out of it. I would be like, no, come on, get up. This is not it.
You never felt the need for therapy or
No,
anything?
no. Also because I think I talk a lot. I talk to Raj, I talk to my mom, I talk to my sister. So I feel like also I've tried going for therapy and I haven't found the right therapist, I feel so. So I feel like now what I have, let me do with this till I get mine.
Also, how do you deal with media trolling? How do you deal with the media in general? Like, for example, I mean, I hope I'm not stepping my boundaries, but there was a lot of talk when they said Raj has done something to his face, and there were pictures, and they said you've done something to your face. How did you? And what is wrong even if you do something to your face?
There's nothing wrong. You are in front of the camera. You have to look a certain way because people don't understand that the camera takes in even the smallest thing, which maybe on a daily life doesn't matter. Maybe this pimple that I have, it doesn't matter. But when you're in front of the camera, it does matter, because it takes all your negatives and just amplifies it. And also, you're so critical about yourself all the time. You are trying to figure, okay, perhaps maybe this might look better in that angle. So I just feel it's easier to tell actors and actresses, oh, why have you done this? And why aren't you confident enough? Look, we all are confident enough, but we are also in front of the camera. So there's a certain way that one needs to look.
How did you deal with all the trolling, and how, like, what happens? Does that sort of make you anxious? Does it make you insecure?
No, I don't care. If I do anything, if I'm doing some Botox or whatever, it's really for me. For me to be confident and look nice. So I really don't care what people have to think.
Are true, honest friendships possible here? Like, who are your friends? Like, who you can confide in, talk about your... Because, like, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are married to successful people, and they say, dealing with, especially when they are so career oriented, dealing with a spouse's success is also a tricky thing. Like, they are in showbiz, ups, downs, one hit, one flop, one. So all that, affects, makes you anxious. Does it sort of impact your relationships? And are they your support groups that you go to, your close friends? Who are the close friends?
My first and my bestest friend is Raj. So if I have an issue, I will deal with him first. If it's about him also, I'll go and talk to him. And we do have a thick group of friends who are very close. Some are actors, some are technicians,
Like
some
who?
are
Who are
directors.
your friends?
There's Huma, there is Harsh, there's Anish, there's Farah. So we have a set of friends who, see, some days are very hard, and
Give me an example.
like today was a hard day.
Why?
It was a really hard day because also we are in the middle of a prep of a film. We have started a production house,
Yeah,
I and
yeah,
Raj.
of course,
We have
of course.
completed the first film, the second. So with every film comes with a different bunch and set of problems. You're never prepared for it, and it is one of the most difficult things to do.
And thankless.
And thankless. Being an actor is so easy. You do your stuff, you pick up your bag, and you come to a shoot. But you don't understand the red carpet that the producer has put, actually how much stress has gone because of that. So we are dealing with new things.
You want to talk about, you started your production house. You want to talk about how you decided to start, and what was the...
Yeah, I'll tell you how I decided, because I was like, okay, I'm not getting work. I'm going to make movies for myself. It's my second movie. I still couldn't cast myself. So it's not that easy. Yeah. So we started because we wanted to tell stories that we like. And it's not that people are not making great stories. There's enough people doing that. It's a simpler extension of us. We don't know so much about the other industry. This is where we have been since so many years. This is my 11th year, Raj's 14th, 15th year. And we know people. People are our friends. We are there to support them. They are here to support us. So this just felt like a natural extension.
Tell me more, like, who's acting, who's directing.
So
Tell
the
me all.
first film, it's called Toaster. It's gone on Netflix. Always it was an original Netflix. We have Raj, we have Sanya, we have a debut director who's been my friend since 18 years, Vivek Das Chaudhary. And all three of them have come and made a kick-ass of a film. So I'm super excited for that. And the whole journey with Toaster was pretty seamless. But this second one is a little bigger in terms of look and in terms of where these people come from.
So anything you can talk about the second film?
It's a hardcore drama.
You mentioned something about being out of work, or you're not. What does it do to your self-esteem, and how do you deal with that? What, like, what are the tips that you would give to, say, a newer actor, if he wanted to come to the industry? What were the tips that you would give him or her?
Self-esteem, self-respect, these things are very important terms in one's dictionary, right? I didn't allow that to be crushed, really. I used to be sad But I don't know, somehow I picked up my sadness, and I used to be like, get up and go there and see what you can do, see who you can meet. I feel like just it takes a little time for, see, some also at my home I have like somebody who's made it so big, right? I just feel every person has their journey, their destiny, and it's a lot to do with destiny also, I feel. But I feel like you can't stop, oh, my luck is not good, so I'm not going to work. That's not going to work. You have to pick up your bags and go out there and meet as many people, audition as much as you can. I think that's the only way out.
With all that right now, the war and all of that, do you think like it's a safe space, a happy world that we are bringing our children into? The social media has its own. What is the kind of world that you want your children to inherit?
I don't think so. Before the wars, also, I just saw all the parents were like, we were on a holiday somewhere. It was a resort kind of a place, and I saw this parent. They were so busy in their cell phones that they were giving their tablets to the children, and they were hardly 3 4 years, and they were so busy watching Coco, whatever. And I'm like, if I'm going to take the responsibility of bringing up a child, I'm going to give it my 100% and not just like shove in a tablet. I'm not even like questioning the mothers that do, because I don't know what goes really into bringing up a child. But I'll try my best to give it what I can do the best at that point of time. And the wars happening, that's beyond our control. Should we stop producing? No. That's not a possibility.
But would you immediately think of starting a family and you have a production house and all of that?
That's really on my wish list, and I hope it happens.
What about your support system? Do you have an like you said you have friends and all of that, but but generally, like do you miss, like you said, you come from a matriarchal setup? Do you miss large families? In Bombay, I mean, I have not seen my neighbors in the last 1 year. Everybody is living in nuclear families. So do you feel that sense of loneliness, alienation?
My parents were also in a nuclear family, though my cousins were in Shillong only, Aspas. But when I did come to Mumbai, because I was in a boarding school, so my friends were always around me. I lived, breathed, ate with my friends. We were that thick. Suddenly coming to Mumbai, I didn't even know who my neighbors were for a year. So that was lonely, that was alienating. And it's only when I would go to college is when I would meet my friends, because my friends were all townies. So they would never come to the suburbs. So that one, I did take some time. But Bombay is a place that seduces you. Once you are here, you cannot be anywhere in the world. Yes, for 10 days you go out, you get that breather, you are happy, but you have to come back here to recalibrate.
What is that one thing, if you had to change about life, about yourself? Is there any sort of this, or like, do you have a regret? Ki, oh shit, I didn't do mountaineering. I didn't do this film. Is there some sort of regret that
Nothing. My life is as it was supposed to be. They cannot, couldn't have, shouldn't be any changes to it, because I won't have learned the lessons that I did. I won't have met the people that I did. I won't have the friends and family that I do have.
You mentioned lessons. What, in these 11 years, what are the lessons that you've learned?
That you have to believe in yourself, A, and B, you have to work for yourself. You cannot be in a la la land that things are just going to happen sitting at home.
Is there anything that you would not have done? See, you've done some films, you've done. Is there anything that you would have not done given a
No,
chance?
if you're talking about the particular film called Love Games, I think that no, I should have done it. I've learned so much from it, and I'll never, like, if I wouldn't have done it then, I wouldn't have understood the repercussions. And when will I get to see myself in a bikini? Please tell me. And when would I work so hard for my body to look like, good? I don't think so. My the roles that I do don't demand such things, but it's really difficult to do these things, to look good, to have a certain body shape. I mean, people think it's floozy and it's just yourself. No, it takes a lot. So much respect to the men and women who are doing this.
As an actor, what are the like, who are the other actors besides Raj, among your contemporaries, girls and boys, that whose work you've really liked and all of that?
Whose work of late, I really think that Huma is doing a really good job with Maharani. Radhika does a really good job. I love Alia. Everybody loves Alia across the board. She is just something else. What she does with her characters, I don't think so anybody can do that. So does Ranbir. I love Ranbir. I think Ranbir and Alia are two individuals that just pop by themselves on screen, and what they do cannot be done by anybody else.
And finally, if I ask you, what further, now that you're doing this production house, as an actor, what are the things that you would love to sink your teeth into?
I want to do a thriller because I've never been to that space. Of course, IC814 was, but it was a true story. I want to be a part of a thriller because I love thrillers, and I watch a lot of these murders on Netflix, the docu-series. So something like that I would love to be
Would you like to explore theatre and all of that?
Theatre, I did try to do it, but it's another beast. Yeah. I mean,
Like when you say you did try to do it, means what?
I mean, I did try to get myself to Prithvi and tried maneuvering my way through, but I got like, my hands and feet went cold. I couldn't get myself to perform in front of a live audience, in front of a 300 people who were just looking at me. I was like, I can't. It was so overwhelming, but I was much younger. Perhaps, I don't know, now would be quite interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Interesting
It would
to
be
see.
interesting too.
And Pratik tells me he's such a fine actor, Pratik Gandhi, and he does Gandhi in 3 languages, Gujarati, Hindi, and I think English. And he's like, every time he does that, the same character, something different happens.
Tell me about Phule. You made mention Pratik, and tell me all about it.
Phule came to me without me auditioning for it, which was pretty shocking because nothing came to me till then without auditioning. So Anand sir was very clear that he wanted me as Phule, and Pratik wasn't cast till then. Then I was like, who's going to be Jyotiba? He's like, I'm thinking of Pratik, but let's see. So Pratik also came on board. And it was such an amazing experience, yeah. Just because we were staying in Bhor and Satara for 2 months, completely cut off from the real
And
world.
Marathi? How did
And Marathi was a bit of a task, For me, learning a language is always a bit of a task. But also, Anand sir had said कि इतना Marathi नहीं रखेंगे because we are making it a Hindi film, so let's stick to it. But there were days when Pratik was killing it. Yeah, I was like, shit, he's there. So I would catch hold of 80s and I would be like, please, कुछ तो बता दो मैं यहाँ पे क्या कर सकती हूँ. So as an actor, I tried bringing in something to it. I don't know. You have to see it to let me know what did you think. Yeah. But it was a very fulfilling experience. I mean, as an actor, I got to play Savitribai Phule, who's such an icon.
What did you learn from Savitribai?
Her strength and the fearlessness that they had at every stage of their life, and how they were so selflessly working for the society. So it was a lot that I took back home, and I'm really grateful. That's why I can't regret anything, na Jits. I did a Love Games also, na. But I got a Phule also, so how can I regret anything? So it's not like I didn't get opportunities after that. I will be stupid to say that.
Correct.
I got my opportunity, so I am saying ki you have to be at it. I don't know where my career goes from here. Honestly, I'm not even thinking. But having said that, did the industry give me opportunities? Yes, it did. So it's not only a place for insiders or whatever.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for being in conversation with me. May you continue to move from strength and strength, continue to be the wonderful actor that you are, and may your romance with Rajkummar Rao keep flourishing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.